Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Today, we're going to do story time with music. So we're going to read this biography on Sun Ra, listening to the album Sound of Joy by Sun Ra and the Arkestra. So let's get into it. The Cosmobiography of Sun Ra by Chris Roshka. I think that's how you say the name, and I'm sorry if I'm not saying it correctly. Here's the inside cover, it's pretty neat. Cosmobiography of Sun Ra. The Sound of Joy is Enlightening by Chris Roshka. And they've dedicated this to their musical mentors. The art in this book is really cool. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. I'll do my best to hold up a picture or a side that has the picture because it kind of flip-flops in terms of where the words are. Anyway, let's get into it. Sun Ra always said that he came from Saturn. Now you know and I know that this is silly. No one comes from Saturn. And yet, if he did come from Saturn, it would explain so much. Let's say he did come from Saturn. Well, on May 22nd, 1914, Sun Ra landed on Earth. Looking around, he found himself in Birmingham, Alabama. His parents named him Herman and called him Sonny. Being from another planet, Sun Ra was naturally interested in everything earthy. Trees, clouds, and spotted dogs, apples, hot dogs, and corn on the cob, hats, socks, and wigs, dancing and drawing and throwing a ball, and most of all, music. It was the thing about the earth that was most like the stars. Ooh, this picture is really pretty and cool. It's not so surprising that Sun Ra was a musical genius. He was a fine piano player by the time he was 11. He could notate music that he had heard on the radio or in dance halls. Sun Ra noticed the books in the library of the Black Masonic Temple, and he spent many hours reading about the great philosophies of the earth, including Rosicrucianism and Freemasonry, which another musical genius, Mozart, had been curious about. One thing that puzzled Sun Ra: the Earthlings insisted on sorting themselves into two varieties, the white variety and the black variety. Sun Ra was sorted into the black variety. Also, the name his parents had given him, Herman Blount, hardly seemed the name of someone from Saturn. As soon as he could, Sun Ra changed his name to Lisania Ra, and then simply to Sun Ra. As a teen earthling, Sun Ra spent long afternoons at the Forbes Piano Company, where, even though the store was owned by earthlings of the white variety, he was welcome to play, compose, or just practice the piano. Before he left high school, Sun Ra was already a professional musician, leading his own ensemble and accompanying singers. Then, Sun Ra saw the strangest thing. All over the globe, the earthlings began fighting and killing each other. It was the Second World War. Sun Ra refused to join in. Questioning him, the Birmingham Draft Board understood that his conscience would not allow him to fight. Little did they know that he was from Saturn. So they designated him conscientious objector. Instead of going to war, Sun Ra was sent to work in a forest in Pennsylvania. After the war, wishing to learn more about earthly music, Sun Ra traveled to Chicago to absorb its blues, doo-wop, and jazz. Sun Ra mastered all of these, both as a performer and as a composer. Sun Ra drew other musicians to him. They played in small groups, medium-sized groups, and big groups, with singers or without singers, all kinds of ways. They were like sailors on a boat, bound for a new world of sound. And, like all good sailors, they played and danced and sang while their captain, Sun Ra, steered the ship. They called themselves the Arkestra. Being from outer space, Sun Ra was afraid neither of electrons nor electricity, and so was one of the first musicians on Earth to use an electric keyboard. He played the mini-moog, the clavinet, and the roxychord. Between working at night and rehearsals in the morning, Sun Ra browsed in Chicago's bookstores or spent the long afternoons simply walking the city's streets and avenues. He was an intergalactic boulevardier. This left little time for sleeping. In his life on Earth, Sun Ra rarely slept for several hours in a bed. He took short naps throughout the day, sometimes even dozing during his own rehearsals. When he woke again, he immediately continued what he had just been doing. This is pretty. I mean, all of the art in this book truly is pretty. But something about this one is really, I'm digging it. In the early 1960s, Sun Ra sailed with the Arkestra to New York City. Though some New Yorkers complained that Sun Ra was too far out, what did they expect from a Saturnian? The wise ones, like Dizzy Gillespie and Thelonious Monk, said, "Keep it up, Sonny," and yeah, it swings. Would it surprise you that the Arkestra made its own clothes? Robes of purple cotton, silk scarves, bone necklaces, and crowns of shining metal foil. From this time on, joining the Arkestra meant being ready to live with the Arkestra, rehearse with the Arkestra, and perform with the Arkestra, sometimes playing for many, many hours on end. The music might be crisp and tight one moment, then wild and free the next, changing with a nod of Sun Ra's head or a wave of his fingers. One disadvantage of coming from Saturn, though, was that Sun Ra could never really understand or care too much about money. The New York landlords, on the other hand, did and kicked the Arkestra out. So they sailed again, this time to Philadelphia, renting a house there. With Philadelphia as their home port, the Arkestra traveled all around the earth, playing, singing, and dancing for people who spoke every language. Of all the places they visited, Sun Ra's favorite was where the Great Pyramids stand in the sands of Egypt. last, after 79 years, it was time for Sun Ra to say goodbye to the Earth and all his friends there. On May 30th, 1993, he returned to Saturn. Before he left, Sun Ra said, "You may think that it is gravity that holds us all together, but it is not. It is music." And that's the end. This is some selected listenings. And this last page here says, Sun Ra, who was born in 1914 in Alabama with the name Herman P. Sonny Blount, became a pianist, a composer, a conductor, a teacher, a businessman, and a poet. For most of the 20th century, Sun Ra made music that is still hard to define, perhaps because he loved all music, from the poppiest pop to the weightiest classic. Always he created his life and his music his own way, even unto the fabulous robes he and his orchestra, the Arkestra, wore when they performed. Choosing to forego the traditional route of singing with a record label, Sun Ra released nearly all of his music independently. So there you have it, guys. That is Sun Ra. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you remember to water and nourish yourself in the ways that help you grow, because you are a beautiful and lovely garden. And I just want to say thanks for hanging out. I love you all so much.